Welcome back to another edition of Philippine Forex. Now, I'm not going to get too heavy into the Forex today. I am going to talk about AAC costing, comparing, and finding out what is right for you. So the big note on the currencies right now is that everything is crawling down against the peso. The only ones that's holding up seem to be the pound and the euro. And so, we've talked about that before as to my reasoning or my thoughts on why that is happening right now. The US dollar is slowly, ever so slowly, chugging its way down. Maybe it'll go to that next resistance support level of 52. Let's see. A quick definition of resistance and support, guys, used in the stock market a lot. Okay, so it's used in the currency pairs too, but many times in the market, you flip the pairs over because you can do it and then find out what you're getting easily for your ratio. So in our trading group, we stopped all that nonsense of talking about support and we just said resistance, because resistance to the peso or resistance to the dollar depends on what foot you're standing on. So that was just a habit out of our trading group. Okay, so now on to the comparing of the three products that are available in Cebu here. Now in Luzon, there are other products up there that are made, but this will give you a rough idea of the types of products that are available to you in the Philippines. But the focus here, of course, because we're on Cebu, is Cebu. Light block, I'm going to start with that. So light block, in my opinion, and here are the prices, is a product that helps the Filipino who's used to working with hollow block stay in the hollow block world. Your problem will still continue with the adhesive, because the guys will want to slop it on and you have to get them off of that track. But a lot more rebar involved, which is similar to the hollow block process. But I will caution you on this whole thing with the rebar from this standpoint. Many, and I say many times, I have seen where the builder, the contractor, the architect, the engineer, you pick one of them is cheating. And many times we have seen buildings where they are cheating to the point where there might be in a 5-meter span maybe 2 legitimate pieces of rebar, and all the rest are these little stubs that they keep moving down, and it's it's not done right. Now, again, to remind everyone, what is between the pillars is purely fill in the Philippines. It is not structural. It is not in the code. This is why you can still do an American house here, because you can put the bamboo slatting up and that's your wall. You can do it. Now most do a little bit of a pony wall now, just because of rain splashing and stuff, and that keeps the rotting away. Now on to Lightstrong. Only putting this one in the middle because first, that's what we used, and second, it's not the most current that I have seen. I still really like the Lightstrong product. We all have to remember what the purpose is behind AAC, and I cite more than a few times in Canada, it's often used as a concussion wall, I'll use that term, between a steel structure, getting busy here, a steel structure and say a maintenance room on one side and compressors or some noisy thing on the other side, where they need safety involved. In other words, you're not putting up drywall. In that process, all they do, adhere the whole thing together, side brackets, pins on the bottom, brackets on the top, and that's it. That's it, guys. I understand the Philippine thing of stiffening. and had great conversations with one of the members here about, you know, trying to get information out of them on stiffening. And really, there is no stiffening. It's all about the adhesive and adhering between the two different types of blocks. And over and over and over again, you see from India to Malaysia to Australia to Canada to the Philippines, when done correctly with the adhesive, correctly, not dry, not soup, stew, pureed squash, you know, that consistency. So I still like Lightstrong. It is a more conventional block system. You know, not, it's just slap and slap and slap and just keep going, right? Pretty conventional stuff. Now in the Philippines, they do not allow corner interlocking in the Philippines. You still have to have a post, and I'm not sure that even an engineer would, oh, what's the word I'm looking for, even bother to engineer it, because the engineering department seems to be locked in on this whole thing of pillars and tie beams. So you're going to have to go to another level if you're wanting to get away from that kind of thing. But in an area that, you know, in our home alone, we've gone through about 4 little earthquakes now. Nothing major, you know, but, you know, 4s, and I think there was one 5, but it was a fair distance away. What the actual shake was at our location, who knows? But again, you can over stiffen something, guys. There's a reason why high rises sway, and why they have to put counterbalances in some of these major towers, is to stop the whip that could happen. Now on to Dr. J Autoclave. Again, a different type of product, guys. So they have a heck of a plant here. 4 monster autoclaves. Boy, they can pound the product out if they need to. It's pretty clear that they deal in a lot of industrial applications, whereby they're using it for floors and such, right? Because the 6-inch 4.2 meter, which is, I believe, what Ernest is going to use for his floor. Yes, a crane is going to be involved, obviously. But by the time you do all the bracing and yada, to be able to do a pour and all the steel that you put in it and yada, you know, just keep going around in circles, you might want to just put in, you know, 4.2 meter. The size of the room is going to drop a little bit because, you know, you've got to go from tie beam to tie beam. But that doesn't mean that your connections through aren't there, right? I mean, that's what doors are all about, right? So interesting product. The 60 by 60 4-inch is manageable, and again, it's different than Lightstrong in that it is a tongue and groove product, much like their stand-up panels. And so the net result is they kind of clip together a little bit easier. Now, from a laborer standpoint that's going to actually install it, is it really going to be that much different? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so, because, you know, whether you put a level on the side or put it in the groove, and you still have to tap it to square it up. Sorry about that, guys. The audio just got worse and worse and worse. But what I do want to say here is, you know, each one of us has to do our homework on what our needs are as far as building your project. You know, what is your application? Mine, 1 story. Ernest, 2 stories. Looks like Clarence is going to do 1 story. You know, so what is your application that you are going to be using this AAC in? I think it's really imperative that you spend a little bit of time and go and, you know, talk to these people and see their product and kind of go from there. What I will add here, guys, is like everything in the Philippines, so many things. You ask for the price, and then you ask for last price. You ask for the price, you ask for the promo price. get somebody else to contact them and see if the prices keep marrying up. What we did was we showed them how much we needed, and then we got a discount. So there you go. I mean, really, at the end of the day, you know, I supply you with the information. I have a lot of fun doing it. Trust me, I do have a lot of fun doing this. You know, Lynn saw me at the sales office, and then I got to see it at the factory, and I'm like, I want to try a project. So anyway, stay tuned. We're going to have another video here in a couple of days, just our house wind up, and I will kind of walk through and add a few extra comments there about what we did in our build. And most of that, guys, again, was here. The guys just couldn't get it. And so, you know, I kind of capitulated. And at the same time, it was easier to do that, add some 10mm bar in there, than it was to horse around with these brackets for the amount of time that the guys were spending on it. The multi-tool just rips through the AAC like there's no tomorrow. So the groove was there in seconds. So it wasn't as if it was all that much of a big deal. And we actually did save maybe a little time doing that way. Maybe not, but you know what I'm getting at here. Each one of us has to kind of weigh this out. Yeah, it's been a journey and a half, guys. We got some good news for Lynn as soon as she gets back. No, I'll do a separate video on that. Anyway, some very, very good news for us. We arrived back in Canada on April 3rd and start to enjoy Canuck summers. But first, a week in Anglaise with my very good buddy John and Floor, and we can see what trouble we can get ourselves into. Later, Gators.